Hi everybody, it's Lisa and just ready for this class. It's going to be a reading class and I just put the link up in the Verbling chat. So if you want to click on that, it's in a Google document so I can make the font bigger and everything. It comes from Time Magazine and everybody can go ahead and come on in. Just click the come on in button and you will come into this
Okay,
Google Hangouts. Hi there, Yair. How are you? Good. You're good? All right. You look relaxed. Okay. So everybody who wants to come into the class, you can. And we're going to be reading an article. It's about colleges in the United States and what's happening with students. So even though it's about the United States, it might be interesting and it might be relevant to your own what's happening in your own country as well. So we're going to read that together. And the way that we do the reading class is that I read a paragraph and then you read the same paragraph. And that way everybody gets a chance to hear me speak and listen to the way that I read the words for the proper pronunciation. And then you get a chance to read too. So you can practice your reading skills and your own pronunciation of the words, and also probably going to learn some new vocabulary in this context. So it's a good way to learn vocabulary. I'm not really a big fan of trying to learn vocabulary just with long lists, 1,000 words at a time or something, but rather just to build your understanding of new words by reading and listening and reading and listening. So hi, Julia, how are you?
Hi, good.
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Italy. Hi, everybody.
All right. Everybody's coming in. Yair, where are you from?
hello, I'm fine. Still lying in bed.
Yeah, I can see. What country are you from?
I'm from Colombia, the
Okay.
only country of South America that has two seas, two oceans.
Yes, the country that's very hot. That's what my other Colombian friends say. It's very hot right now in
Oof,
Colombia.
yes.
Okay, Tan, you're back. And Maria's back, and Ismail. And Farhad, hi there.
Yeah, hi teacher.
How are
How
you?
how have you been?
I've
I'm
been
I'm
good.
doing good.
Okay,
I'm
wonderful. Good. And
okay.
say hi to Blanca. How are you, Blanca?
Hi, Lisa. I'm fine. Thank you. How are
Good.
you?
Pretty good. Fatuhan, are you there? Maybe I didn't say your name right, or maybe your microphone is muted. So there you
That's right.
go.
I'm sorry. So I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Okay. Good. And Body's there. He's burning up also in Colombia. Oh, look at him. He's all in his hammock, chilling out.
Your strategy. Hina, how are you? Long
Look at
time no
those.
see.
Look at those two Colombians. They're just both very relaxed and
I'm
chilling out.
envious.
Yes, yes. You guys are chilling out. That's how you wrote that. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to do some reading. Was everybody able to open up the document? Let me see here.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we have 13, 14 people. So if you are watching this, then you will be able to listen to us. We're going to be reading and discussing this article. And hi, Tarcisio. I'm sorry you can't join. It is one of the bummers about this is that only 9 people can come into the Google Hangout. So certain times of the day especially, we have a lot of people who are very eager to join the English classes and listen to English or speak English. And sometimes I don't really know how it works. I think it's kind of the luck of the draw who gets in. But I think this class was fully booked. So people were using their premium memberships. So if you guys are having trouble getting into some of the classes that you want for sure, you might want to consider getting some reservations. There's a couple of ways you can do that for free. If you just click on the little link that says Get Reservations, it tells you how to get some free reservations. And then after you try it, if you like it, you can pay $25 per month. So it's not a bad price. It's the price of one audiobook or maybe 2 paperback books for a whole month's worth of classes in English and Spanish too. All right, everybody. This article was taken from Time magazine. Some of you who come to a lot of my classes, we have read an article before by this same lady. Her name is Annie Murphy Paul, and she writes on topics of education and learning techniques and language learning and different things like that. She's an author. I think she's written at least 1 or 2 books, and that's kind of her areas of interest. Her areas of interest are education, learning strategies, learning 2nd, 3rd, 4th languages, and how to do that in a successful way. So I got this off of the Time magazine website and put it up here so that we can read it together. I'm going to actually make it even bigger because I know that some people who are just watching it on Verbling, it's easier to see when it's on the screen. So I'm going to start off reading. I think most people are familiar, but I will go over how we do this. I will highlight what I'm going to read, and then I'll read it. And then I will call on, probably Badi will be the first one to read, and you will be reading what I just read. Okay, so the first time I'm reading it, just to kind of let you guys listen, hear those words. Maybe some of the words are new for you, and so you'll hear me pronounce them, and then you'll start thinking about what they mean. Okay? So the title is, Does College Put Kids on a Party Pathway? Party pathway. What does a party pathway mean? That's the first question we got in the Verbling chat. Does anybody want to give a guess at what that is? What do you think it means? Party pathway. Everybody knows what a party is, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, teacher, we know. Okay. Yes, you guys can speak up. Don't be shy. Party. So everybody knows what a party is. And what is a pathway?
Teacher,
Yes?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing very well.
Okay.
How about you? What's a party pathway, Tan?
It's a direction. I mean,
Yes. Yes. So the question is, does college put kids on a party pathway? So it means, are colleges preparing them for anything except parties? So I don't know how it is in your country, but in the United States, it is very common for college students to party a lot. So a lot of times, even it starts in high school for a lot of teenagers in the United States, but it gets even more intense in college. So if you have Facebook friends who are in college, for example, you will often see pictures of them drinking out at bars, out at restaurants, and they're just often having parties with their friends, meeting new people, things like that. So I'm curious, Badi, is that similar in Colombia? Do people party a lot in college?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yair, you're going for yes.
Yes, here, for instance, here, Easter week, we call Holy Party.
The holy party? Yeah. Okay, great. And Blanca, how about you're in Mexico, right?
Right. Yes, people used to go to Paris all weekend.
All weekend. Okay. That's very common. Maria, how about in Sweden?
Yeah, partying is common.
Yeah, for college age students.
It's a verb, right? Partying.
Partying. Yep, partying. Yeah. Tan, how about in Vietnam?
yes, but not me.
Of course not you. You're at Verbling classes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So we just have, so it sounds like you guys are familiar, so that you already bring some awareness and knowledge of this topic. So maybe that will help you understand the article because you already have your own information about college and partying. All right, so I'm just going to get into it. A fair amount of Schadenfreude. So that's a German word actually, and it means pleasure derived from the misfortunes of others. So if you are happy that when somebody else is having a bad time, that's what that word means. It's not an English word. So a fair amount of Schadenfreude greeted the release last week of a study showing that the kids of parents who pay for college return their family's largesse by achieving lower grades. The study, conducted by University of California at Merced, Professor Laura Hamilton, and published in the American Sociological Review, offered those of us who worked our way through college or took out burdensome student loans a rare opportunity to gloat. All right, let's see. Batuhan,
Yes.
can you read that paragraph?
Okay. So, a fair amount of Schadenfreude means pleasure derived from the misfortunes of others. Greeted the release last week of a study showing that the kids of parents who pay for college return their family's largesse
Largesse.
by achieving lower grades. The study, conducted by University of California at Merced's Professor Laura Hamilton and published in the American Sociological Review, offered those of us who worked our way through college or took out burdensome student loans a rare opportunity to gloat.
Okay, so just a couple of things here. This is kind of a very long way to say a lot of words in that sentence there. But basically, they had a release of a study, and what it showed is that the kids whose parents paid for them to go to college actually got lower grades. So the word largesse here means, if you have largesse, it means you have a lot of money. It could also mean you have like a lot of weight if you're a very big person, but largesse in this context means that their parents paid for their college, and it's because they have a lot of money. They have financial largesse. But,
like a donation?
Excuse me, say it again.
Like a donation or something?
That's not what largesse means, but largesse means, so we could say it a different way. So let's see, the release last week of a study showing that the kids of parents who pay for college return their family's wealth, let's say. So largesse, it could also mean their wealth, their money, by achieving lower grades. So in the United States, I don't know if this is the same in other countries, because I heard that in some countries university education is free or it's low cost. But in the United States, for example, depending on what type of college you go to, it can be very, very expensive. It can be even $50,000 per year or more. And some students cannot afford that, so they have to borrow money or work. But other people who are very wealthy, for example, if your parents are doctors or lawyers, or they have businesses where they make a lot of money, then they just pay. Like, for example, I have a friend who is attending the university called MIT, and her father is an eye doctor, and he has many businesses, and he does eye surgeries, and he pays for her tuition and living expenses. Yes, Maria, yes, just the tuition alone can be very expensive.
So 50,000 in tuition only, and then they have like living costs on top of that.
I don't know exactly, but yeah, I mean, easily it could be $25,000 in tuition, for example. Yeah, and that's for 1 year only. So some people, But the basic study shows that those students did not do better just because they didn't have the stress of, you would think that maybe these students would do better because they could study more, they don't have to work, they don't have to take out a loan, but they didn't. They did worse. And so that's what this word gloat means here, Maria. You asked about it. So it says, offered those of us who worked our way through college or took out burdensome student loans a rare opportunity to gloat. So to gloat means kind of when you say, ha ha, I told you so. Like you're happy because another person, you were right and they were wrong. So it's kind of like you get to gloat. You get to think you're like better than them. So she's saying that the people who are gloating are the people who took out the loans because they said, we had to work hard, but we got better grades than you did. So.
But is that the nice thing to do? To gloat?
No. It's not usually a very polite thing to do. But it's so that's kind of, she's saying it a little bit of a sarcastic kind of tone.
Is it like having the last laugh?
Yes, exactly.
Like
you have the last laugh. Exactly. That's a good way to say it. Okay, and this is another way to say it. Self-congratulation. So you're congratulating yourself, thinking you're really hot stuff. Like, yeah. Okay. All right, but our self-congratulation is mistaken, or at least beside the point. So it's not really the point. Hamilton's work and that of other researchers demonstrates that we should all be concerned about the state of higher education in the U.S. today, and that college students enjoying a 4-year paid vacation courtesy of their parents are merely a symptom of a larger problem. Okay, Blanca, will you read that?
Yes. But our self-congratulation is mistaken, or at least beside the point. Hamilton's work and that of other researchers demonstrates that we should all be concerned about the state of higher education in the U.S. today, and that college students enjoying a 4-year paid vacation courtesy of their parents are merely a symptom or a larger problem.
So that paragraph, she's saying it's not really the big idea. The big idea is that everybody's having trouble with education these days, and even though some people get this 4-year paid vacation from their parents, so courtesy of means given to them by their parents, then we all have, that's just a symptom of a larger problem. So even the kids who don't even have to work can't do very well in school. So that's a problem. Okay, I think somebody in the Verbling chat, or you're here now, Ergin? You need the link. There's the link, and that you can open up the document and then follow along, because you'll be reading next. After I read this paragraph, you'll be reading it after I read it. So that problem is this. So she's going to tell us what the problem is. Across the board, American colleges and universities are not doing a very good job of preparing their students for the workplace or their post-graduation lives. This was made clear by the work of 2 sociologists, Richard Aram and Josipa Roxa. Okay, Ergin? Did you find it? Your microphone might be muted because I don't hear you if you are talking. Ergin, are you there? Okay, Farhad, you want to read? Ergin, I think your microphone might be off if you're there and you're hearing me, but I'm not hearing you. So you have to just click on your microphone so it's not red anymore.
Okay.
Farhad.
That problem is this: across the board, American colleges and universities are not doing a very good job of preparing their students for the workplace or their post-graduation lives. This will be made clear by the work of 2 sociologists, Richard Aram and Josipa Roxa.
Okay, so what are the 2 what is the main problem that this study is showing? Who can tell me in their own words what this paragraph just said? What are the problems?
colleges and universities
Mm-hmm.
are not good uh, to prepare the students for the post-graduation lives.
Yeah, right. So why do people usually go to college?
To learn the skill for the job.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real life, actually.
For real life, yep. So typically, even though it might be fun to go to college, and it might be fun to meet new people and have parties and play sports or something like that, kind of the real purpose of college has been to get more knowledge and more skills so that once you leave college, you can figure out how to make money in the real world, in a job, or by making your own business or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And what they're saying is that is not what's happening. They are not doing a very good job of preparing the students for the workplace or for their lives after they leave school. Okay? All right, let's keep reading. In 2011, they released a landmark study titled Academically Adrift, which documented the lack of intellectual growth experienced by many people enrolled in college. The authors examined the results of tests taken at the beginning, middle, and end of students' undergraduate careers and concluded that 45% of students did not demonstrate any significant improvement in learning during their first 2 years of college, while 36% failed to demonstrate improved learning across all 4 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, Julia, want to read?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. In 2011, they released a landmark study titled Academically Adrift, which documented the lack of intellectual growth experienced by many people enrolled in college. The authors examined the results of tests taken at the beginning, middle, and of students' undergraduate careers and concluded that 45% of students did not demonstrate any significant improvement in learning during the first 2 years of college, while 36% failed to demonstrate improved learning across all 4 years.
Right. So what does it mean, lack of intellectual growth? Who can tell me what that means?
I think that means
To get the deficiency of together intellectual mean that together mean growth that is done by a lot of people.
Not exactly. Julia, did you want to
It
say
means
what you thought it meant? Let's let Julia tell us.
I think that means the intellectual level of the students stays the same instead of growing by attending the classes and
Yes.
following the programs.
Right. Right. And Tan wrote in the chat, it means that they're not learning much. So yeah, if you have a lack of intellectual growth, so usually intellectual is means things that you learn that you use your mind for, about thinking. It also is more academic, perhaps. Comes intellectual. Oftentimes, intellectual growth often comes from reading books and things like that. It's different than, let's say, manual growth, which might be, for example, or athletic skill. So your intellect is your mind, the things that you learn about using your mind. So what's happening in colleges? They're not learning. They're spending all of these years, and there's no real significant improvement over 2 years and over 4 years. Right. So Ismail, that's right. So they come in, they know certain things, but they're not growing. They're not learning new things. So they come in already knowing some things, of course, but not learning new things. Okay? That's what they're basically demonstrated by their study there. And this word landmark That just means it's very important. So if anything is called landmark study, maybe it was the first study of its kind, or it made a very big impact. It was very important, and maybe it brought up something new that researchers didn't know about. So that's why they use the word landmark. Okay, next paragraph. In particular, Aram and Ruxa found college students were not developing the critical thinking, analytic reasoning, and other higher level skills that are necessary to thrive in today's knowledge-based economy and to lead our nation in a time of complex challenges and dynamic change. All right, there's a lot of words in there. Ishmael, you want to read that?
Yes. In particular, Aram and Roska found college students were not developing the critical thinking, analytic reasoning, and other higher-level skills that are necessary to thrive in today's knowledge-based economy and to lead our nation in a time of complex challenge and dynamic change.
Yes. Okay, there's a lot of things in here. So some people believe that there are certain skills that people need today to survive and to thrive. What does thrive mean? Can somebody give me another word for thrive?
Succeed.
Succeed. Good. That's what I was looking for. To succeed, to do well. So they're not the skills maybe that you needed 100 years ago or 200 years ago, but they're skills for today's economy. And what is he telling, or what is this author telling us? What is our economy based on today?
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowledge.
Yeah, it's based on knowledge. So it's not necessarily based on how well you hunt or fish or how well you make baskets or how well you create, clean your house or something like that. The economy.
You organize a party.
Yeah, how well you organize party. Although you can make a job of that. It's really based on your knowledge. So a lot of jobs these days, you have to know a lot of things. For example, last night in our reading class, we were talking about windmills and wind turbines. And they were saying that in the United States, that it's a growing industry, and they need technicians to work on the windmills. And that if you learn how to do that, then when you start, your starting salary could be $70,000 per year. So that's a really good salary for somebody. But you have to have information, you have to have knowledge, you have to have the skills to fix those windmills. That's what you need to learn. So those are called critical thinking skills, analytic reasoning, and these are called higher level skills. It's not just reading, not just writing, not just basic math, but it's these higher level thinking skills. Okay, did anybody have a question about that paragraph? Any vocabulary words you didn't understand? If you don't understand something, just tell me. I will explain it.
Teacher.
Yes.
Dynamic change.
Okay. Go ahead.
The students are raising the levels in making parties.
They're raising the level in what?
Making parties.
Making parties, yeah. They're getting really good at partying. Yes. Okay, the word dynamic. Dynamic change really means things are happening all the time. Things are changing. It's very dynamic. The opposite of dynamic would be like stale or slow or boring, something like that. So dynamic is how a lot of people describe our current modern economy, modern lifestyle. Things happen very quickly. New technologies are coming out every day. Websites are being created, and things are just changing all the time, and it's very quick and exciting. It's not slow. It's not boring. It's not old. It's all new. Okay. Yes, and Tan, maybe you should change your major. If you want to climb up on windmills 100 feet in the air, off the ground. Yeah. And did somebody else have another question or something else? No? Okay. Aram and Ruxa placed place the blame. So they're blaming somebody, something. So they're placing the blame for students' lack of learning on a watered down college curriculum and lax undergraduate work ethic. Although going to college is supposed to be a full-time job, the authors reported that students spent on average only 12 to 14 hours a week studying, and that many were skating through their semesters without doing a significant amount of reading and writing. Okay, those slackers. All right, Maria.
Yeah, sorry. Which I think. Arum and Roxa placed the blame for students' lack of learning on a watered-down college curriculum and lax undergraduate work ethic. Although going to college is supposed to be a full-time job, the authors reported that students spent, on average, only 12 to 14 hours a week studying, and that many were skating through their semesters without doing a significant amount of reading and writing. Wow.
Yes. So they are blaming this problem on kind of two things. One has to do with the college. So the college itself is providing what they call watered down curriculum. So the curriculum is the study, the lessons, what a student is supposed to be learning in the class. And they're saying that it's watered down. And I wrote over here in the Verbling chat, if something is watered down, it means it's not very hard, it's not difficult, it's not very rigorous. It's very simple, easy. Maybe you only have to read 3 books instead of 6 books. Maybe you only have to write 1 or 2 papers instead of a paper every week. Something like that. They don't expect very much from their students. And then the other part is the students' problem, which is their lax. So that means kind of like relaxed or
smooth.
Yeah, they're not trying very hard. They don't have a very good work ethic. Yes, Maria, it's like diluted. Yes, watered down is diluted.
Thank you.
If you have a drink, like say you pour yourself a cup of coffee and it's very dark and it's very bitter and it's too strong, you can water it down by adding some water or milk. And that's the same thing they're doing with the curriculum. They're making it less, we say rigorous, less difficult.
Vigorous.
No, rigorous. With an R. Yeah.
Rigorous, okay.
Yes, rigorous. Rigorous would mean tough. It would be very difficult, and if you got through it, you would be really, you would have a lot of skills and knowledge afterwards. But if it's watered down, it's just kind of boring and not too hard, very easy. Yeah. And then also a lot of the students nowadays, they don't have much of a work ethic, so they're not really into working too hard. They like easy. And so they're saying that even though it's supposed to be a full-time job, so presumably when you go to college, you're supposed to be taking a lot of classes and then spending your time studying, reading, writing papers, doing labs, things like that. Students are spending very little time doing that. And here's a phrase here. They are skating through their semesters. What does that mean? Anybody want to make a guess if you don't know?
Skating on ice.
Yeah.
Skating, so they kind of
another
don't
word
take it.
would be coasting.
Coasting.
Or another word would be taking it easy. So they're just kind of getting by. It's very easy.
Chill out.
Yeah, they're chilling out. Yes. So they're skating through. They're not having a hard time. It's pretty easy. Okay? All right, let's see here. Students who take more challenging classes and spend more time studying do learn more. But the priorities of many undergrads are with extracurricular clubs and activities, fraternities and sororities, practicing and playing sports, and partying and socializing. And let's not forget sleeping. So, Tan, will you read that?
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Okay. Students who take more challenging classes and spend more time studying do learn more, but the priorities of many undergrads with extracurricular clubs and activities, fraternities and sororities, practicing and playing sports, and partying and socializing, and let's not forget sleeping.
Okay. So what is a priority? It says here, but the priorities of many undergrads. What is a priority? Anybody know?
Yes.
Priority.
Maria, go ahead.
Priority is the things that you put in the first room or
Yes.
first place.
Yes. So it's what is important to you. So, for example, if you want to be Tan, for example, if you want to be a professional singer, I don't know that you want to be a professional singer, but if you want to be a good singer, then you probably need to sing. You need to practice. You need to learn some songs. You don't need to play video games too much, right? Same thing with learning English, as you guys know. Coming to Verbling classes, if that's a priority for you, that means it's important. If something is important for you, you make it a priority. Okay? So, for example, if being in shape, being fit is a priority for you, then you might want to go running or you might like to play some sports, something like that. And so they're saying that usually when you go to college, your priority should be to study and to learn. But these days, other things seem to be more important for people than studying. So who can tell me what some of those things are that kids or young people are thinking is more important than learning and studying? It says right there. Just tell me back what it says.
Partying and
Okay.
socializing.
Yes,
Playing
partying is one.
sport.
But that is not
Sport.
the same thing. I mean, partying is not the same as socializing.
No, partying would include drinking probably and going out. Socializing just means like getting together with your friends and going for a walk or, meeting in your dorm room and, just chatting, something like that. Yeah. Go ahead. What
Playing
else?
game
Playing.
on the internet.
Yeah, playing World of Warcraft maybe. Something like that. Online games, Facebook, sports. Clubs. Some people are into clubs, like chess club, maybe, or something like that. And also, do you guys know what fraternities and sororities are?
Yeah, because I watched the Facebook movie.
No, I never saw that. Yes. So a fraternity is a house. Yeah, they have Greek names. They're houses where people live. So when you go to college here, a lot of times in the United States, people leave their home and they leave their town where they grew up and they go to colleges farther away. And so because they're going farther away, a lot of time they live either in dorms on the campus or they try to live in houses with other students. And some of these are called fraternities. Those are only for boys. And then there's sororities. Those are for girls. And usually these are for people who have more money. And it's kind of like known for lots and lots of partying and also for networking. So meeting people that maybe later in your life you will work with or that kind of stuff. So that's popular in the United States. I don't know, is it popular in Sweden to have sororities or fraternities?
No, it's not like divided.
Yeah.
In between men and women like that.
Yeah. Farhad?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I didn't understand the second word, sorority.
Sororities is a house for girls.
Okay,
So
okay.
Yeah, house for women. They're not girls anymore. So it's the house where women college students live.
Okay.
But you can't just get into a sorority. There's a whole process where you have to apply, and then they have to put you through these kind of ordeals, and they have to figure out if you're right. It's kind of like an elite club kind of thing for just certain people. Yeah.
But Lisa, is that extracurricular clubs? Is that something you put on your curriculum?
Extracurricular?
Extracurricular. Is that something you put on your resume or something like that?
Maybe. I mean, an extracurricular club is anything that's not related to your classes, but it could be something like the chess club, and it could be like the international club or the Spanish club. You might want to put it on your resume if it was something that was important to the job that you were trying to get, you know. Linguistics club, something like that. Yeah, and sports. So in a lot of universities, sports is even more important than learning, some people believe, because it's a big money maker. Okay, the results are clear, wrote Aram and Roxa. Educational practices associated with academic rigor improved student performance, while collegiate experiences associated with social engagement did not. If students' priorities are off, perhaps they're taking cues from the top. Okay, Yair.
Okay, here I go.
All right.
The results are clear, wrote Aaron and Roscoe. Educational practices associated with academic rigor improve student performance, while collegiate experiences associated with social engagement do not. If students' priorities are off, perhaps they're taking cues from the top.
So they're basically saying when you have more difficult classes, you do learn more, you do better. But you do better than just hanging out with your friends or, you know, checking your Facebook page or going to soccer games, football games, things like that. But if the students' priorities are off, so that means like they aren't on academics, perhaps they're taking cues. So if you take your cue from someone from the top, it means you're learning from them. So they're learning from the top, which is about the administration, the people who are running the college. Yes?
Teacher, I could understand the paragraph.
Okay.
I don't know if it is possible to go back. Okay,
Sure.
if students' priorities are off.
Yes. So if students do not have the right priorities, so the right priorities according to them for learning would be to take rigorous classes, to study more, to read more, and to go to class. But if they're off, perhaps it's because of what's happening at the top. They're taking their cues. They're learning from what is happening at the top. And so at the university level, the top refers to like the president of the college or the university, the teachers, the coaches, the people that are, it's their job to run the school. So, and that's what she's going to talk about next. So it'll make more sense when we read the next paragraphs here. Another study released last week, this one by the Delta Coast Project, a branch of the American Institutes for Research, found that universities and colleges that belong to Division I, the top tier of college sports, spend about 3 to 6 times as much on athletics per athlete as they spend on academics per student. Okay, so that gives us a clue of what's important to the people at the top. Okay, Batuhan?
Okay. Another study released last week, this one by the Delta Coast Project, a branch of the American Institutes for Research, found that universities and colleges that belong to Division I, the top tier of college sports, spend about 3 to 6 times as much on athletics for athletes as they spend on academics per student.
Yes. So where are they spending their money, these colleges?
I'm sorry?
What are they spending more money on, these colleges? What do they spend a lot of money on?
Well, sports.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the United States, there's different levels of competition in sports. So the Division I is the #1 division. So those are the schools that have the highest level soccer, baseball, football, basketball teams. Okay, so those colleges in particular spend way more money on promoting sports than they do on promoting academic learning. That's according to that study. In the
Lisa,
South, yes, you have a question?
yeah, I have a question. What's mean of tier of college part?
Okay, the top tier means the highest level.
Highest level.
Yeah, a tier equals level. So it's
Thank
just
you.
another word for level. Yeah.
Isn't that like a layer?
Like a layer, yeah.
Yeah.
You can have layers or levels or like, yep. Okay. In the Southeastern Conference, which produced the last 7 NCAA national champions in football, the ratio is more like 12 times as much spending on athletes as on students. Not only does athletic spending per athlete far exceed academic spending per student, it is also growing about twice as fast, the report noted, with much of the spending going to multi-million-dollar coaching contracts, more athletic staff, and better facilities. Okay, Blanca?
In the Southeastern Conference, which produced the last 7 NCAA national champions in football, the ratio is more like 12 times as much spending on athletes as on students. Not only does athletic spending per athlete far exceed academic spending per student, it is also growing about twice as fast. The report noted with much of the spending going to multi-million-dollar coaching contracts, more athletic staff, and better facilities.
So they're spending even more money, 12 times as much. And they're buying things like better footballs and fields and building big stadiums, things like that for the athletes. That's where all this money is going instead of helping students learn more. Hamilton, the author of the study on parents who pay for college, will argue in a forthcoming book that college administrations are overly concerned with the social and athletic activities of their students. Okay, Ergen?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Hamilton, the author of the study on parents who pay for college, will argue in a forthcoming book that college administrations are overly concerned with the social and athletic activities of their students.
Yeah. So he's arguing in his next book that they are spending too much money on sports and social activities. So maybe it's kind of like, well, we'll have a discussion in a minute. Let's get through the article before I start asking questions. In Paying for the Party, a book she co-authored with sociologist Elizabeth Armstrong that will be published this spring, Hamilton describes what she calls the party pathway, which eases many students through college, helped along by a powerful Greek system, that's the fraternities and the sororities, residence halls that funnel students into the party scene, and a host of easier majors. Okay. Farhad?
Yeah. And Fame for the Party, a book she co-authored with the sociologist Elizabeth Armstrong that will be published this spring. Hamilton describes what she calls the party pathway, which eases many students through college, helped along by a powerful Greek system, residence halls that funnel students into the party scene, and host of easier measures.
Right.
Measures.
Yes. So the Greek system that they're referring to, that's what I was talking about, those fraternities and sororities. Those are the houses for the men and then the houses for women. That's the Greek system. So they're just making it really easy for them. So they're giving them easy majors rather than very difficult ones that might be better for them to get jobs in the economy. So a lot of times people are going through easy majors, but then they can't even get a job afterwards. So it wasn't really a good idea to do that. By sanctioning this version of college light, so it's college light, like not very hard, kind of like a light soda or something. Hamilton and Armstrong write, universities are catering to the social and educational needs of affluent, full-freight students at the expense of others who won't enjoy the financial backing or social connections of richer students once they graduate. Okay, Julia?
By sanctioning this version of college light, Hamilton and Armstrong write, universities are catering to the social and educational needs of affluent. Sorry, I'm lost. I'm sorry. Okay. Full freight students at the expense of others who won't enjoy financial backing or social connection of richer students once they graduate.
Great. So they're saying that basically they're catering to, so they're making the rich students happy and making it easy for them. But this isn't very good for the people who that have been taking loans out and working hard, because those people, the people who take loans out and work hard through college, they're not going to be rich when they get out, and they're not going to have the social connections that those wealthier students have. So they really do need to have better education and more skills, because the rich students presumably will still be rich, their parents will still be helping them out probably, and they also have these connections once they graduate.
What does it mean to catering? Catering is to serve some...
To serve, yeah, to try to please somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You're catering to them. You're trying to make sure that they are getting what they want.
So is it a big difference? I mean, is it like this on every university?
No.
Or college, or is it different on different colleges?
I would say that they're talking probably about some of the bigger colleges, and that's a problem. But I'm sure it happens in some of the... We have lots of different types of universities and colleges here, some smaller ones, some public ones, some private ones. It really depends what state you're in and the whole community that university is in and the history of it. But certainly what they're talking about is some of the major ones, even the ones that are more popular, like probably they're even talking about ones like Stanford, Harvard, you know, places like that.
Is Yale in the United States?
Yale, yes, things like that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lisa,
so, yes?
Can I ask a question again?
Sure. Yes.
Could you pronounce it that sanctioning? Am I right?
Yes. Sanctioning.
And what does it mean?
By sanctioning. So so they say by sanctioning this version of college light. So if you sanction something, that means you say it's okay, you implement it, and you're okay with it. So they're saying that the universities are sanctioning this version. They're not having problems with it. They're saying it's okay, we like it, we want to spend money on sports, and it's okay if kids want to party, that kind of thing. So when you sanction something, you say that you give it your approval, basically. You approve of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like you allow something.
Yes, it's allowing it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you hear...
Teacher,
yes?
but what about affluent? What does it mean?
Rich.
Rich, okay.
Affluent means rich. Yep.
Okay.
Lots of money. Okay. These students need to build skills and knowledge during college if they are to use their degrees as a stepping stone to middle-class mobility. But more privileged students must not waste this opportunity either. As recent graduates can attest, so as they can say, the job market isn't kind to candidates who can't demonstrate genuine competence, along with a well-honed willingness to work hard. Okay, where were we? Farhad? Did you read?
Yeah.
Okay, Julia?
Me again?
Yes.
Okay. So these students need to build skills and knowledge during college if they are to use their degree as a stepping stone to middle class mobility. But more privileged students must not waste this opportunity either. As recent graduates can attest, the job market is unkind to candidates who can demonstrate genuine competence along with a I'm sorry, I don't know that word, well-honed willingness to work hard.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Okay, so we're going to finish up here because we have only 1 minute. Okay, so nor is the global economy forgiving of an American workforce with increasingly weak literacy, math, and science abilities. College graduates will still fare better than those with only a high school education, of course. Okay, Ismail?
Nor is the global economy forgiving of an American workforce with increasingly weak literacy, math, and science abilities. College graduates will still fare better than those with only a high school education, of course.
Yep. Somebody has a Verbling window open. Okay, but a university degree unaccompanied by a gain in knowledge or skills is an empty achievement indeed. For students, parentally funded or not, who have been coasting through college, and for American universities that have been demanding less work, offering more goodies, and charging higher tuition, the party may soon be over. Okay, Maria, you want to read that last one?
Yes, please. But a university degree unaccompanied by a gain in knowledge or skills is an empty achievement indeed. For students, parentally funded or not, who have been coasting through college, and for American universities that have been demanding less work, offering more goodies and charging higher tuitions, the party may soon be over.
Right. So maybe they will not be able to continue doing this any longer. And the reason why is because the American workforce needs to have these skills. And if they don't, then other people in other countries will be able to take those jobs and Americans won't be able to even work. So that's what a lot of people are saying nowadays about what needs to happen in the university system. So. Does anybody have any comments or things that they want to say?
It's a bit depressing, this study, isn't it?
Yes.
Like,
well, it's kind of, you could say it's a wake-up call.
Okay.
That's what you say, a wake-up call. So, you know, going to college, it used to be in the past, oh, you go to college, you automatically get a good job. But that's not
in the
true
past.
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
there's too many people who can do things. You know, a lot of people can do things that somebody from college or somebody who went to college can do. So for today, you need to kind of know what skills you need, and then you need to actually have good skills, not just a little bit. You know you're pretty good, but you know there's a lot more people in the world today too. So you have to have.
So maybe the colleges have to change.
Yes, that's what it means when they say the party's over.
Okay.
Yeah, the party's over means they can't keep doing what they have been doing. They have to make a change. Yeah.
But these were Schadenfreude in the beginning. Is that a word you use in colloquial speech, or
no?
Just but an American knows what it means. Or? No. Okay.
No. But writers, you know, they use words sometimes like that.
Understand? Yeah, but there's no English word for that.
No.
There's no. Okay.
No. Well, it's when you're happy at the expense of others. So you're kind of, you could say you're stuck up, or you're like feeling superior to somebody, something like that. You're happy because they are getting a bad grade or a bad report or something, and you're like, ha ha ha, you know. That's what it means.
Teacher, interesting topic. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Ishmael. I'll see you later. Yair, did you have a question? Yes?
I want to ask something, Lisa.
Okay, Ishmael.
We read an essay, and the thing in this essay is valid through all university in the US?
No.
No.
No, I wouldn't say that this is relevant to every single university, but a lot of them. A lot of it's very well known that going to college nowadays does not necessarily mean you're going to get the skills that you need to get a good job. A lot of people know that college can be a time where people just party and they try to do as little as possible. But of course, it depends on the person and the college. Different colleges might have a different curriculum, more rigorous, more demanding, and they might give people more opportunities to do academic things, not just sports. Not every university in the United States has big sport programs. I mean, a lot of them do, but not all of them. So, there's a lot of universities in the United States. Yeah.
How many percent, Lisa? Because there are lots of students who are dreaming of studying in the US.
Yes. Yes.
In my country, lots of.
So I think if you're thinking about studying in the United States, the best thing to do is to really do research about where, and to know, if you know ahead of time what you want to study, if you want to study sciences or electrical engineering or something like that, then you want to pick a university or a college that has a good program for that particular area of study. You need to do research. You can't just go to any old college or university just because it's in the United States. You really want to know which college has the good programs where you're going to learn a lot, so you can use it. Use your degree.
Not everybody that goes to the United States to study has good English skills.
Right. There's always also, when you come to the United States, if you don't have good enough English skills for writing papers and reading at the academic level, then there's always classes you can take, maybe for 3 months or 6 months, that will help you get up to that level. It's more intensive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very interesting topics.
Yeah.
All your topics are very nice.
Well, I think so. They have to be interesting to me to read them.
Have you read this book, Sorry to Hold You?
Well, it hasn't come out yet. It's not
Lean In. Have you read this book?
Lean In. No, I was going to do that article, though, today, but it was too long for the class. But,
okay, but you haven't read the book yet?
Did you?
Me neither. No, but it's cheap on Amazon, so I will probably buy it.
Yeah, I just heard about it. So, give me a report. She talks about, she's the Chief Operating Officer of Facebook who wrote it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she has been working at the World Bank, I think, also. She has a lot of experience from the top tier.
Yes, I think one of her main things is that, still the women versus men kind of perceptions that we have of what women do and what men can do, something like that.
Yeah.
There's a website about it too. I haven't gone to that website yet, but there's a Lean In website.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go correct some of your stuff.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Tan.
Bye.
And then I'll read it. And then I will call on, probably Badi will be the first one to read. And you will be reading what I just read. Okay, so the first time I'm reading it, just to kind of let you guys listen, hear those words. Maybe some of the words are new for you, and so you'll hear me pronounce them, and then you'll start thinking about what they mean. Okay? So the title is, Does College Put Kids on a Party Pathway? Party pathway. What does a party pathway mean? That's the first question we got in the Verbling chat. Does anybody want to give a guess at what that is? What do you think it means? Party pathway. Everybody knows what a party is, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, teacher, we know. Okay. Yes, you guys can speak up. Don't be shy. Party. So everybody knows what a party is. And what is a pathway?
Teacher,
Yes?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing very well.
Okay.
How about you? What's a party pathway, Tan?
It's a direction. I mean,
Yes. So the question is, does college put kids on a party pathway? So it means, are colleges preparing them for anything except parties? So I don't. Hi everybody, it's Lisa, and just ready for this class. It's going to be a reading class, and I just put the link up in the Verbling chat. So if you want to click on that, it's in a Google document, so I can make the font bigger and everything. It comes from Time magazine, and everybody can go ahead and come on in. Just click the come on in button, and you will come into this Google Hangouts. Hi there, Yair. How are you? Good. You're good? All right. You looked relaxed. Okay. So everybody who wants to come into the class, you can. And we're going to be reading an article. It's about colleges in the United States and what's happening with students. So even though it's about the United States, it might be interesting and it might be relevant to your own what's happening in your own country as well. So we're going to read that together. And the way that we do the reading class is that I read a paragraph and then you read the same paragraph. And that way everybody gets a chance to hear me speak and listen to the way that I read the words for the proper pronunciation. And then you get a chance to read too. So you can practice your reading skills and your own pronunciation of the words. And also probably is muted. So there you go.
I'm sorry. So I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. And Body's there. He's burning up also in Colombia. Oh, look at him. He's all in his hammock, chilling out.
Your strategy. Hina, how are you? Long
Look
time no see.
Look at those two Colombians. They're just both very relaxed and chilling out.
Envious.
Yes. You guys are chilling out. That's how you write that. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to do some reading. Was everybody able to open up the document? Let me see here. Okay, it looks like we have 13, 14 people. So if you are watching this, then you will be able to listen to us. We're going to be reading and discussing this article. And hi, Tarcisio. I'm sorry you can't join. It is one of the bummers about this is that only 9 people can come into the Google Hangout. So certain times of the day especially, we have a lot of people who are very eager to join the English classes and listen to English or speak English. And sometimes I don't really know how it works. I think it's kind of the luck of the draw who gets in. But I think this class was fully booked. So people were using their premium memberships. So if you guys are having trouble getting into some of the classes that you want for sure, you might want to consider getting some reservations. There's a couple of ways you can do that for free. If you just click on the little link that says Get Reservations, it tells you how to get some free reservations. And then after you try it, if you like it, you can pay $25 per month. So it's not a bad price. It's the price of one audiobook or maybe 2 paperback books for a whole month's worth of classes in English and Spanish too. All right, everybody. This article was taken from Time magazine. Some of you who come to a lot of my classes, we have read an article before by this same lady. Her name is Annie Murphy Paul, and she writes on topics of education and learning techniques and language learning and different things like that. She's an author. I think she's written at least 1 or 2 books, and that's kind of her areas of interest. her areas of interest are education, learning strategies, learning second, third, fourth languages, and how to do that in a successful way. So I got this off of the Time Magazine website and put it up here so that we can read it together. I'm going to actually make it even bigger because I know that some people who are just watching it on Verbling, it's easier to see when it's on the screen. So I'm going to start off reading. I think most people are familiar, but I will go over how we do this. I will highlight what I'm going to read. Probably going to learn some new vocabulary in this context. So it's a good way to learn vocabulary. I'm not really a big fan of trying to learn vocabulary just with long lists, 1,000 words at a time or something, but rather just to build your understanding of new words by reading and listening and reading and listening. So hi, Julia, how are you?
Hi, good.
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Italy. Hi, everybody.
All right. Everybody's coming in. Yair, where are you from?
Hello, I'm fine. Still lying in bed.
Yeah, I can see. What country are you from?
I'm from Colombia, the
Okay.
only country of South America that has two seas, two oceans.
Yes, the country that's very hot. That's what my other Colombian friends say. It's very hot right now in Colombia.
Yes.
Okay, Tan, you're back. And Maria's back, and Ismail. And Farhad, hi there.
Yeah, hi teacher.
How are
How
you?
have you been?
I've been
I'm
good.
doing good.
Okay, wonderful. Good. And say hi to Blanca. How are you, Blanca?
Hi, Lisa. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Pretty good. Fatuhan, are you there? Maybe I didn't say your name right, or maybe your microphone